Welcome to Dave's Cooking Show, and for you today we have Red Wine Rigatoni. All right, first thing we're going to want to do is get some olive oil heated up a little bit in this here pot. About 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Just enough to coat the bottom. And now it's time for us to add our meats. So we have 1 pound of Italian sausage. And then we want to add 1 pound of ground lamb. And then you just want to cook these until they're nice and browned up and done. But we're not quite done yet. We got a few more things to add to the meat, but we're going to give this a couple of minutes to start the cooking process. Okay, as you can see here, the meat is about halfway done. It's time to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And then you want to add about a teaspoon or so of oregano. Then you just want to give this a quick stir. Then you want to add a 1/4 cup of minced onion. Give it another quick little stir around, and then cover and allow the meat to finish cooking. All right, now that we have our meat cooked and we've drained it, it's time to deglaze the pan. And we're going to deglaze the pan with about 1/2 cup of red wine. I use Merlot to be specific. And basically what deglazing does is just gets up all those little bits and pieces off of the bottom of the pan. Basically, it becomes liquid flavor. You should have about 1/2 cup of red wine left over, by the way. We'll use that in a minute. And now it's time to add 2 28-ounce cans of tomato sauce. Give that a little stir around. And then we're going to add the rest of the red wine. Should be about 1/2 cup, might be a little bit less. And then, again, the other can of tomato sauce. And then just give this a little stir around. And let it get heated up and everything nice, well, and incorporated. Okay, so after a couple of minutes of kind of letting everything simmer down and the sauce kind of picking up its flavor, it's time to add some of the other spices to this. So we have about 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And again, of course, salt and pepper this as well. I would remind you, be a little bit easier on the salt because tomato sauce is, a little salty. And then you want to add 2 teaspoons of beef bouillon. Yeah, a bit of an unusual ingredient. And then just want to, again, stir this around. Let everything kind of everybody get to know each other. And I will say, once you get used to making your own pasta sauces, you will never be able to buy the jarred stuff again. And then you want to add about 1 tablespoon of dried basil. If you are using fresh basil, jack it up to 2 tablespoons. Remember, dried herbs are twice as potent as fresh herbs. So in a pinch, if you have to go with the dry stuff, just subtract whatever it calls for. If it calls for fresh, subtract or divide it in half. And then I think lastly, it's time to add 2 tablespoons of honey. Again, this will replace, normally I say when you're making your own pasta sauce, I say add a pinch of sugar to get rid of the tinniness. Trust me, this will get rid of the tinniness. So about 2 tablespoons or 1.5 tablespoons of honey. I just decided to eyeball the 2nd tablespoon. Then you want to simmer this for about 6 to 8 minutes. And then you want to add back the meats and the onion. And then I like to crank this down to medium low to low and let this kind of just simmer and hang out for at least a half an hour. You can go longer if you like. But yeah, I like to simmer this for, again, at least 20 to 30 minutes. All right, at some point, let's make some pasta. All right, as you can see here, I maybe forgot to turn the camera on for a few steps. But basically, you just dump the rigatoni into the sauce. You mix everything around. Again, whatever your package says to cook the rigatoni for, take a minute off the minimum cooking time. Because again, it'll have that extra minute in the sauce and in the colander to finish up cooking. And again, you guys have seen me do that 10,000 times. So really the only thing left to do is to just give this a dusting of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And that's it. Red Wine Rigatoni. Done.